Hello, my name is Drive-By. I'm going to go over some quick base settings for PvP that I think new and experienced players can both probably get something from. If it's just one thing, it's obviously worth it if it increases quality of your gameplay. Most of the things in here are, better frame rate, uh, quality of life things, uh, information intake. It's what I think about when I think about settings. I don't necessarily think about aesthetics nearly as much. I don't think it's so important if your goals are to kill other people. But that said, that's your choice. Let's get started. First thing I do is hit escape, bring up the menu. There's also a menu button right underneath your bags on the bottom right. We're gonna hit options. We're gonna go controls, and I'm just gonna go through. I might not go through every single one of them. I'm gonna go through the ones that are critical. Some of them are kind of subjective. So let me get started. Sticky target. Have to have that enabled. That's so when I'm on a target and I click somewhere else, it doesn't target off my target. It's very annoying. You definitely know if you don't have sticky targets on. Interact on left click. Auto loot right. That's going to be when I kill something, multiple things. I loot one and it loots all the bodies in the area. I will say if one's far away, you're going to have to go get it. So that's something to think about. Loot key. I don't have a loot key. I just right click them. Or you can use the interact key, which we're about to talk about. Combine bags into single bag. This is critical. Used to be that all your bags are individual and you had to get an add-on to bring them together, but fortunately they got wisened up a little bit and made it kind of base game. So definitely have to have this checked. The interact key is new. I think that it's good. Right? And I'm testing this sound cue thing, see if I like it. How I use it and how I intend to use it is I think that it's good for spamming interaction, right? So I think it's only optimal if it's on the mouse key. Like you can use it for other things, but I think on the mouse key, a mouse scroll wheel, it will get a lot of reps in and you can spam it. So my thoughts are if someone drops a flag or possibly like a demon portal, even though you can use the gateway item, just an example, you can spam it and guarantee that you hit it. My guildies told me about this like item. I'll bring it up later. That is superior to clicking a portal or clicking a gateway or even using the interact really. So, but the interact I feel like could be good for picking up flags. Not quite sure how I feel about it, but it's definitely worth buying and it's definitely worth playing with. The sound cues, still getting used to the sound cues. It just hasn't been long enough. It's only been out for a couple weeks, so we'll see how that lands. They could probably do more work with it. Sometimes I just can't get the cue to pop up when I really need it to. It's not very dependable yet. Okay. Mouse. I don't really mess with the mouse. Make sure you don't have click to move on or anything like that. Camera. Make sure you have never adjust on. So this is about is like when you go into a room. Obviously the camera will zoom in a little bit because you want to be in the room with your character. But when you go outside, never adjust ensures that it will always go back to its max range. There's a bug when you're like working on your dragon, because dragons are like cars and this, and you can soup them up, and it's like a thing. There's a bug that it will stay zoomed in out, so make sure you zoom out after you customize your dragon. As far as the zoom out, I'll get into that in bindings, but I would take your zoom out off of mouse wheel. Mouse wheel is way more useful. You can also like spam target sap with it, and you'll sap all rogues. Mouse wheel is as fast as it's going to get, right? All right, let's move over to interface. Right, I don't like showing my name. I do like seeing friendly players. I do like saying minions, enemy players, minions important. Sometimes there's too many minions and I might alter some settings, but I've been fine lately, especially in arenas. It's not too bad. Critters and champions. I don't even know what that is, right? We do PvP. I don't really know what that's about. Always show nameplates, right? You need nameplates. Nameplates are that bar of health that goes above a player. It can do so many other things. It tells you their name, obviously. It could do their level. You can get it so it shows effects on them. It's really important that you can see nameplates. Enemy units, minions, minor. Your choice on the minor. But I think you do want to see enemy minions ultimately because you can track dots that you're getting procs off on them. Sometimes you can kill them, right? Sometimes you need to kill one of them, like a hunter pet. It's pretty useful. And you can also like track maybe, yeah, like I said, like cooldowns if you really wanted to. That would be pretty try hard, and we might get to that later. Friendly nameplates, obviously, and you want to track your friendly minions. In arenas, I typically heal my friends' minions, and I'll go over that in the raid frames. I typically heal my friends' minions. In battlegrounds, I prioritize them pretty low. I think that there's a lot going on, and sometimes AoE healing might be enough for those minions. Plus, they have the heal of their own. Flash on aggro loss, I'll uncheck that because I don't know. I don't want it. Right? I don't have aggro in PvP, so it's no use. This is important. I use an add-on that does this, but if you don't have the add-on, you're just using these base settings, you're going to need stacking nameplates. I think the other option is like overlapping nameplates, right? So overlapping nameplates going to have them right in line with each other, and stacking is going to have nameplates stacked, so you can read them. You might be able to see effects on them depending on, you know, how many are on there, right? How big you make your nameplates if you get into that. So you definitely want stacking nameplates. It's really important. Hide adventure guide alerts. Don't need no alerts for adventures. I'm good. In-game navigation. It's gonna be like your spell, like your quest tracking, right? It's a little diamond, tells you where to go. Pretty important. I think the tutorials in this game are disgusting, really bad. Outline mode. Yeah, dude, you want to see like little highlights on people. It's just easier on your eyes, and you don't have to, oh, where's the one guy I need? It's pretty nice, especially when there's a group of people and you're a quest giver or something of that nature. It can be tough. Status. Percentage is the minimum. You can do like numerical and percentage, but you need to have percentage because you want to know execute range. You want to know when the enemy's in execute range. You want to know, yeah, things like that, right? It's really about that. It's about things that are based on health percentage. There's a lot of abilities that are based on health percentage. Maybe even looking at like aim shot, where like they do more damage if you're, you know, above, I don't know, 80% or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's the concept. So mine actually has, I have an add-on that puts little lines on their health bar for, depending on what character I'm on, what they get advantages for hitting within that range of. Chat bubbles, obviously, it's just like little things above people's heads. I leave them on because why not, right? Raid frames. I have incoming heals on. Sure. You know what I mean? It's going to show the heals coming up on the little raid frames, which we'll get into. Power bars. You definitely need to see power bars. You need to know your healer's mana. You need to. You shouldn't have to ask them. You should know, really. Display aggro highlight. We turn that off. I had it on. Turn that off. I don't need any of that. I was playing the other day and I was like, man, what are these red squares that keep showing up? And it's definitely that button, and I must have misclicked it. Display class colors. Critical. You need to know the colors of the classes of the people on your team. You need to know that red's DK, pink's paladin, light blue's mage, orange is druid, blue is shaman. They're pretty simple. A week or two, they use the colors all over the place in WoW. You'll have it down in no time. It's pretty simple. Display pets. Yeah, like I said, if I'm in an arena, I'll display some pets. If I'm in battlegrounds, I may or may not. It just depends on maybe what class I'm playing or how I feel. You know what I mean? If they got like one, I forgot one hunter, yeah, I'll put his pet on there. But if there's so many pets, I mean, come on. I need to keep my UI reasonably clean. Display, tank, and assist. This is good. Some people really like this. I think personally it's too much. It's just extra crap on my UI that I can do with an assist macro. But it's still viable, right? Like it's not gonna make you a bad player if you do this, right? It's still good, still right. Show debuffs. You have to show debuffs. You have to know your allies what they're in, what they're dealing with, right? Obviously they should communicate with you if you have Discord, but we'll take that out of this argument and we'll say that you need to know what's on them, right? If you check the display only dispellable debuffs, right, you're going to see the debuffs that can be taken off, but you might miss out on the debuffs that can't be taken off, something like Steel Trap, where your friend's rooted. And are you going to use all your cooldowns while your friend's rooted? Because you're going to be alone, right? Or, you know, that general idea is your DPS, he's not moving. Why isn't he moving? It's because you're only displaying dispellable debuffs and he's got a non-dispellable one, like kidney shot or something, right? So keep that in mind. It's important to know. Don't display only debuffs. Display health. I don't know why it says health remaining right now. Yeah, that's right. Health percentage is the better one. I might have been using health remaining to see numbers or something like that. Just curious. Actually, take that back. Health remaining could be a good way to see. Nah, health percentage is the best. All right, onward. Action bars. Action bars are critical, and it's going to tie directly to your keybinds. This is where you put your abilities. This is where, where you need to be organized, and you're going to monitor your things, right? A lot of your things, at least. I actually have, most of them look like they have bars down here, right? I've actually made them a little smaller with edit mode, and I have them right here. And I actually hide them. You don't need to see them. I want less stuff on my screen. I know what button like regrowth is, right? So I don't need to see it. And this is a concept like you can save yourself a lot of space. You can give yourself a lot more areas to get information, because this is a hot spot down here. This is good real estate. Anyway, action bars. Show numbers on cooldowns, for cooldowns, right? You should check it. The only reason I don't have it checked is because I have another add-on that does it. It's really important that you check it if you don't. And what it does is when you use an ability, it shows how much longer it has. Actually, if you can see that my add-on overlaying over top of it, it's actually underneath of that. Anyway, it's important. You need it. I suggest you lock your action bars. I like to use the shift button and drag things around when I need them. The worst thing you can do is move your character around and then pick up one of your abilities, and then not be able to use it in a critical time. So keep that in mind. We're going to move on to combat. Personal resource display. I think that you should use it. I don't. I have it up right now. You can kind of see it in the background, just to show you. I don't usually use it, but if you were going to use it, I would say you probably want to show special resources on the target. All right, so it's going to show above the enemy's nameplate, like something like combo points or holy power, or you get the idea, right? And then personal cooldowns will show up right above this, right? So that'll show arc skin, right, for me, or maybe even like dash, right? But then I have friendly buffs on me too, so I want to see when a priest puts power or shield on me, I can see the timer for it. Quick reference. I'm going to skip on down to do not flash screen at low health. Do not flash my screen at low health. Do not flash my screen ever. Loss of control alerts, very important. It used to be not as good as it is now. They're pretty good, so I think that you should stick with that. Scrolling combat text. Mine is off, right? But this one's still good. I just think this one's a little messy. I have an add-on that changes it. You can check it out. I use like the original vanilla ones, but I make sure that the numbers come in at their feet so that it doesn't go over their health bars or any of their stuff, and that's not like overbearing in my face, right? So I really try to minimize all that content on my screen so I can really have clarity. Mouse over cast. Mouse over cast is normally if you'd have to heal an ally, you'd have to click their party frame, right? Or click on their player's nameplate or them, and then you would click the heal ability like regrowth. But with mouse over cast, it means anytime you hover over somebody and you use a heal, right? It'll heal them without you selecting them, right? So I can stay on a target and I can reach over here and say, wow, this guy needs a heal, or reach up to my friend and say, wow, he needs a quick heal, and hit the spell and not select them and still cast it where my mouse is. It's pretty good. I don't use a thing on it. It hasn't screwed me over yet, but I have a fear that someday not having a modifier on it will screw me over. It's just a matter of time. That's your choice. Hasn't done it yet. Auto self-cast. This is important. You're on a bad guy. You want to heal yourself. Obviously, you can't heal him. It's going to heal you automatically. You don't have to select yourself. That said, I do select myself, which is the next button. Self-cast key. I don't use this. I have had a lot of trouble with self-cast stuff, and a lot of them will target you, and then when you hit it again, it'll target like your pet, and I can't stand that. So I do a macro instead. It's the same thing though. Same thing. I'll get to it in the macros. Focus cast key. This isn't a pretty important ability. The focus is when you're on a target and there's another target, right? There's another dude, and you want to track what he's doing too. It's like your extra frame. So I'm on this target, but I'm also kind of looking at this target over here. And I can, and the goal is to cast, let's say I cast Frostbolt on my target. I also want to be able to stay on my target and cast Frostbolt on this guy without ever changing and swapping like tab targeting or clicking or none of that, right? So I want to be able to hold control and I would cast Frostbolt on the other player. It's a really cool thing. I think it's powerful in BGs where there's too many players to have macros for each player. I think it's powerful, and I don't even know if they have those macros. I think it's powerful in twos where there's only two players, so you're just attracted to those two people, the one and the other. I think it falls short of arena macros in threes, and if you're looking for a place to level up, embrace the suck and start using arena macros if you're looking for help in threes. Empowered spell input. That's that thing where if you've seen the evokers, they like might shoot like fire breath or something like that. And what it does originally was you held it, and the longer it went on, the stronger it was, or like, you know what I mean, to do more damage or to have a different effect, right? And you had to hold it. But this is, and I think this is the only way you should play it, is press and tap, right? Press and tap means I click it, I click the button, and then it goes, and then when I click it again, it stops. That allows me to do things like in between, like set my UI, maybe look at some sort of informational thing, make sure you know, you get it, turn my character, something of that nature. So I definitely think press and tap is the only way for me. Nothing else really. Don't do enable action targeting. It's terrible. Social. This is all subjective. Display only character achievements to others. My guildmaster just told me about this, and for years I've had like achievements and then not able to show it in game, so I sound like a liar, but if you go look at my armory, I have it, right? So this is going to make it so that you can show your 2K achievement to everybody, no matter what character you're on, because you are 2K, right? You're 2K, you did it before, you understand what it takes to get there. That's a quality achievement, right? That's good. Not a lot of people get to 2K, so you want to be able to share it. You want to be able to use it to get you in good groups, so you don't have to play with what you might consider a bad player or new players, and you play with people more on your level. Perfect. Awesome. Other things. I think that's that for that. I think you got the rest of it. It's not really for me. We're going to do a whole thing on keybinds, character-specific key bindings. Sometimes if you have a weird character, it's really good for that. General. I think that, I mean, cinematic subtitles is good. I don't want my camera to shake at all, so I'd take that off. Anytime I use power spell input, I'm like, yep, make that press and tap for sure. Interact keys, I like to see them. I think that's pretty cut and dry in there. Colorblind mode if you're colorblind. Boom. Text to speech. I don't know much about text to speech, I want to be honest with you, but it's here if you are blind, I suppose. Graphics. Vertical sync, right? I already said this earlier. I'm really more about performance with graphics and information intake. I need all the help I can get, right? I don't have any anti-aliasing. I'm not worried about, rounding out corners. I don't care, right? My field of view is what standard. It was 90. I keep the standard UI scale. You could change that. It's up to you. Nothing matters. And this is where it gets weird. I use 1. I have a really nice computer. I use 1. You could use 10. It's just more stuff. It's just more stuff. It's the stuff you don't need. This game could be played with like very little graphics. It's more about managing things, right? And positioning and communication. So you don't really need deep graphics to play this game well. I prefer to minimize any chance of lag, and I just put it on 1. Plus, like, it's just smoother. For me, I like it. Liquid detail, I do put on good. Outline, I do put on high. This one's really important if you're going to do this with your textures. I put projected textures on enabled, but the one I'm saying that's important is view distance. You need to have that max always. Keep going. Triple buffering. Most of this is just default UI. I don't do any ray tracing. I will say, like, if I don't cap my frames like this, I will get too many. And obviously cap your background frames, right? This target frame is like, if you take a lot of lag, it'll like reduce your settings, right? It's kind of, let's see, enables, yeah. Nice. This is all your stuff, right? Audio. Just a few things in here. I actually have learned like a lot of things here recently. I enable sound. I use my default device. Master volume directly controls Gladiator Losa, which is an add-on. If you know about it, you know what you know that this is important. If you don't know about it, you're going to learn about it. You're going to have to make some decisions. It's quite interesting and kind of wild at first, right? So master volume itself, just master volume, controls Gladiator Losa. Then within Gladiator Lusa, there's another volume control. So that's what this is about. It's about a specific add-on. Music's off because no, right? Sound effects I had on because I was messing with some like an add-on that like when my ally got a cooldown up, it would make like a gunshot or something. That's just an example of one, right? It was really useful. I was just thought it was fun. Dialogue. As far as the dialogue goes, I just learned that dialogue directly has an effect on those sounds in battlegrounds, like the horn, or when you drop a flag, or when a base gets capped. So you want to make sure you have sound on dialogue. Make sure you have dialogue enabled. Make sure you turn off error speech, like when it tells you I can't do that. You know what I mean? Or its ability isn't ready yet. You don't need to hear that, especially if you have some macros that kind of make that happen. Some macros like spam things, right? So we don't need that. Ambient sounds, no, you don't need any ambient sounds. Sound in the background, I like it. Oh, this is good. That's whatever. This is all normal stuff. Push. I've never used push. I've never used anything like push to talk in this game. So then we move on to language. I use English. Audio is in English. All my stuff is normal. So anyway, I hope this helped you. I hope that your stuff looks, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more ready for PvP. And if you have some time, comment, like, follow. I really appreciate it. Bye.